Introducing Rigid's new SRL Series light bar, featuring a sleek 20-inch curved housing, ultra-wide forward projecting beam pattern, and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most applications. The halo backlight feature is offered in red, white, blue, or amber, and is wired independently from the forward projecting light. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever
questions
to
and shit, like
own the night.
about the setups and stuff. Like, pretend like you're brand new. Don't forget to talk loud.
Yeah.
Can you hear me here?
Oh, gotcha.
You hear me okay? Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. How's that hair look good?
Coming to you live with a full stomach of tacos, George Hamill and Cody Sanders. This is The Dirt Life Show.
Yeah. What's up? Episode 5 of Dirt Life Show. Tonight, we have our glorious co-host, Cody Sanders, in the studio.
Back in action.
I'm Georgie Hamill, and we got some awesome guests that are coming up tonight. It's going to be a really cool, well-rounded show, I feel like. We're going to talk about some racing stuff with one of our featured guests, Matt Gerald. He's from Wisconsin, so he's a little bit far away from us.
Yeah.
And he doesn't live the desert life like us, I guess, but he's still living the dirt life.
Living that mud.
Yeah.
That mud love.
But, no, I think mud's Louisiana, isn't it?
Dude, I don't know.
Wisconsin's way the heck up there, dude.
All I know is I live here.
So we'll have to ask him about that. We'll see what's up in Wisconsin. Yeah. They had that big race, Crandon, up there just a couple weeks ago, so we'll talk to him about that, see if he watched some of the UTV stuff. Our other featured guest is, Garrett Maxwell from 518 Designs, Arizona guy, just like us, and grew up racing motocross. I want to hear his story because, I've only known him for a short time, but the dude is a hustler.
Yeah.
He works his ass off.
He wrapped your car, right?
Yeah, he wrapped the unicorn. So the unicorn, he's good. And the colors came out really nice on that. I was surprised at the cyan and the magenta, how blue and pink.
I remember the first time I seen it, I was like, "What are you doing?" And then as it kept going, I was like, "Oh, okay, it looks totally different than normal."
There was a couple times when I was kind of second guessing my final product too. But, on the UTV subject, we had one of our listeners in the audience that say that they wanted us to talk about the difference between racing UTVs like short-course UTVs, WORCS UTVs, desert UTVs, those kinds of things. So I think it'll be cool, since both of our guests today are kind of in that racing world, that we talk about the different setups and stuff that they have. And I know you've done a lot of different setups with your UTV, too, with just trail riding and jumping, and so you have different things that you do to your car when you do set. If you're going to go to the dunes, you'll set it up a little different. When you're going to go trail riding, you'll set it up a little different.
I try to leave it mostly a lot the same because I just want to be used to it all. They're bumpy already no matter what I do.
Yeah, and that's a good point to bring up, too, and I think we should talk about that, too, is you can never get a vehicle to operate perfect. Right. You still have to be a good driver, and you still have to be able to understand what the vehicle is doing. And there's all kinds of stuff on Facebook. But when you talk about setups, they're like, what is the Fox setup for my Yamaha YXZ?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily going to work for that person. It might work for a big guy that's, got, let's just say, 200 to 400 pounds in his car, and then you got two skinny people, and it's going to work completely different. Yeah. And maybe one's more heavy-footed and drives faster, or maybe one is really, snappy on the throttle. So who knows? But we'll get a good understanding of what we actually do to the cars to make them different in those racing. And it might actually translate a little bit to some of the trail riders too.
Yeah.
So that'll be really cool. So the Dirt Life Show is getting really, really positive feedback. We've gotten so much good feedback, dude.
Getting big, dude. It's good. It's moving forward.
I want it to be so much bigger. I want it to be huge. But
get there, man. One listener at a time, George.
Yep. We'll eat the elephant one bite at a time, like my dad always says.
That's it, man.
But we can have everybody help us too. We can have people go to our social media platforms Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at the Dirt Life Show. And comment, like, do all that stuff. We really, really want everybody to come on and interact with us and just help us grow this thing. And we do want more content too. We want to make sure that we're answering the questions that you guys are interested in. So send in DMs. Cody will answer them. I'll answer them, whoever, and we'll try to answer some of those things. So the more feedback we get from you guys, the better, because that just means that we're producing a good show.
Well, we got now, I mean, we have the way that the setup is now, I can actually see what people are writing.
Yeah, so you can do it.
I can see the comments, guys, on the live Facebook. So if you want to go ahead and write on ask any question, I'll try to get through as many people as I possibly can.
Or just throw shouts outs.
Or yeah, that's fine too.
Okay, cool. And then so as we grow, I want to see if we can get more sponsors. I want to see if people can help the show grow too. So right now we currently have 5 fantastic sponsors that are helping out. We have let's just go over to this camera right here and we'll look at those fuel wheels over there. This is the 5th time we showed them, but God, those things are pretty. Fuel makes some awesome wheels. They just came out with another, I don't even know what it's called, but it's another style of UTV wheel that is bitchin', dude. It is so cool. Ricky Vanneau had it on his Assault Privateer Motorsports YXZ at the Sand Show, all red, like candy looking. Dude, they were so sick. So,
man, you know what? I wish we would have went to the Sand Show, man.
I do too. I got to do a little bit more rehab.
Next year we're going. We're going next year. No questions about it. We're going to be there.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff there, man.
Yeah.
People be throwing down a lot of money too.
A lot of people go.
You see those 4-seaters that Speed Side by Side was making?
Man. Yeah. Yep.
Those things are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually really like them, and I think they're going to put a different motor in it than the YXZ motor.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's a 2-cylinder motor, but I forgot what it was. But it's a bigger platform, and I think that'd be really cool. Can you imagine a turbo on one of those bad boys?
Dude, I'd be all over that.
That'd be super cool, especially with the suspension and geometry and stuff that those guys build. That's super cool. They actually make a bunch of cool parts for the Yamaha too, like impeller pumps and just different stuff for the motor and just really cool stuff. Okay, so and then we got Shock Therapy. Those guys are killer, like we always say. They do tons of stuff for desert racing, short course, trail riding, all that stuff. And yeah, man, they just give back to all the racing communities and stuff. So those guys help out a bunch. We have Solder Weld. Solder Weld makes awesome repair products. In fact, what is it? I think it's next week. Vanessa from Solder Weld is going to come in, show us all the cool products, talk to us about some of the cool stuff that they do supporting off-road racing and trail riding and all that stuff. So it's going to be really cool. So we look forward to that. ZRP, Zollinger Racing Products. I've seen some really cool stuff coming out of their building, man.
Stuff they're making, man, that's insane.
Dude, I said it last week, and I still can't get over it. They made some billet aluminum machined arms, or tie rods, or what are they called, radius rods? They're like a freaking Picasso, dude. They're so, they're beautiful.
Like you just want to hang them on your wall.
Kinda. Like they look really, really cool. Like I'm pretty stoked on it. So we'd like to thank them. They've been a crucial part to our success. And who else am I forgetting? Rigid Industries. Rigid makes, they just came out with that new setup, and that's what Brett was talking to us about that he couldn't tell us.
Yeah.
They got those 360 lights. Have you seen those things?
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Ken Roxon had them all mounted up on his Honda Talon at the Sandsport show. Oh my dude, they bring it back old school, but with way better lights.
Yeah.
It looks so sweet.
By the time I actually get a set, they'll be like 10 advanced already, man. That's how.
Hey, we got to talk to Brett and see if he wants to do another giveaway, and then you can sign up for the giveaway.
I'll just sign up as somebody else.
Try to get those for you. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We love all you guys, and thank you so much. Let's start talking about the racing stuff, man, and how you get a car set up. I remember we talked about in episode 1 a little bit about it, and when we were living next to each other, you got to see me bring home my first race side by side.
Yep.
And you and I were dumbfounded how different they were than a normal car.
Yeah.
The
safety is really cool, and it would be cool to see everybody running that safety all around, you know what I mean? It would be really nice to see, but
you mean with big metal door bars and stuff?
Anything, man. I see a couple of people recently, they wrecked it, and everybody walked away safe and good, but man, that's scary stuff, man.
It really is. And obviously the racing is a little different because you're at high speed all the time and you're pushing the limits and stuff. Yeah. But you make a good point. Like, people really need to be as safe as possible. And I think that the racing stuff has shown me a lot more of that. I didn't think about it as much when I just trail rode the UTVs before I started racing. But once I started racing and I started seeing the necessity for all the safety equipment, it changed the way that I set up my play cars too. Like the straps, the harnesses, where they're located, how high the seats are and stuff. So that's a good point. And maybe in the next couple episodes we'll talk about some how to prepare for the dunes and get your car set up and shocks and whatever. I think that'd be a cool thing.
I think one of the most things I see is seatbelt setups.
As not being correct.
Yeah, a lot. I've noticed that a lot. It's one of the most important things there.
And you don't have to sacrifice comfort for safety. As long as you have it set up properly, it's usually comfy.
I mean, I've seen people, hold their hands underneath it. I've seen all kinds of weird shit, dude.
You should be able to just hold your hands in your lap and have a rollover and
not have to worry. Yeah, absolutely.
We'll talk about that stuff too. But the race cars, for all intents and purpose, they're pretty freaking safe.
Yeah.
Jason Merrill, one of our first guests on the show, he was racing a desert race, and I forgot where it was, but they were going down one of the dry lake beds where you can just hold the car wide open for a while. And they got their Polaris RZR up to, with the big tires and the gearing and stuff like that. They got it up to, I think it was somewhere around 100 miles an hour. I mean, these things are fast, dude. And he wasn't quite up to full speed. Like, it was probably anywhere from like 70, 80 miles an hour or something. And they lost a tie rod end or something. And the front wheel came underneath the car. And, they flipped over and stuff. Their cars are really well. They have double pass welds. They're 4130 chrome moly steel. And the car was trashed. Like, it ripped the wheels off. Like, it really jarred them.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge impact. But to think about a car for lack of a better term, crashing from outer space and having that hard of an impact, and they just got out.
Yeah.
They were dazed and confused.
Yeah.
But could you imagine that?
No, I don't. I don't want to be.
If somebody did that in a stock car, that'd be a lot different story.
What's crazy is you have seen those pictures over time. They're
really
you mean
bad.
Like
on face? Yeah,
they're really bad ones, and it's like, what 2 years ago, there was a guy out of Phoenix, and I heard that didn't end well for him, and it was like you were on a track with a stock cage, like it just blew my mind. Like, come on, you know what I mean?
People just safety is always, and I'm a big advocate for safety, clearly, but I can't. Yeah, I think we really should focus on that Dune episode and talk about Dune safety.
Yeah.
So the difference between a short course car, which is like a Lucas Oil short course car where they race on a closed course, a WORCS racing car, which is more like I would have lend it to like outdoor motocross, where you're still on like a track. It's a little longer, but you got different bumps. It's a little bit more deserty. And then you got like the full-on desert cars, like the big daddies, big gas tanks, tall cars. They have to race behind trophy trucks and big ruts and stuff. Which one do you want to tackle first?
It's up to you, man.
Well, let's go short course then, since that's my favorite. The short course cars, I think, are basically built to get speed through the corners.
Yeah.
The shocks really don't. I mean, you don't want to bottom out, but they're almost built like a dirt track car, like the bigger cars with the big motors, like a sprint car.
Yeah. That
go around those dirt tracks. They're basically built like that. So, you helped me, and you kind of saw all the beginning process of when we built the short course cars and stuff. And I remember one of the things that you said is like, dude, this thing is so fucking low.
Yeah, I was like, man, I fucking like the look of that.
Yeah,
that's all. It's for that, dude. Like,
it's got lightweight tires, like small tires. It's sitting on the ground. It's really easy to rotate in corners, but going over jumps and stuff, it's a little bit hard on the back. Yeah. So they're cool, but everything that you do to those cars is to get the power to weight ratio as light and as low as possible. in short course racing, depending on what tracks and what organizations you go to, Lucas is obviously the top level. They have mandates that you have to be, I think the rule is now 9 inches or 8 inches is the lowest you can be to the ground. And you have to also have a minimum track width or maximum track width, so you can't be any wider than a certain point. And you have to keep mostly just all the OEM stuff on them.
Yeah.
They're really, really designed to just never have to let off in the turns. So, and it brings up a good point is I took some of the Yamaha brass out in the short course car when we did a demo event at the Dirt Champs, or the Jump Champs, and they sat passenger, and we had a play car that we were doing the short course stuff in. And that's the first thing that everybody said. That was like, how the hell do you go through corners that fast? Like, it didn't even seem like you hit the brakes or let off, and you don't.
Yeah.
You just turn. You just blip the throttle and whip it in there. And so that's what they're made for. In a WORCS car or a desert car, there's no way you can do that. And no matter if it's a Polaris, a Yamaha, whatever it is, and I think that's where Yamaha gets so much accolades in the short course series, because it doesn't matter if they, buck in the rear end or have spring in the front or whatever it is. It just matters if they go haul ass around the corners. And they've got obviously a 3-cylinder engine, which makes them kill it down the straightaways. So the other stuff that I think is really specific to like the short course cars is making them as light and as agile as possible. So we did it a couple years ago, but it's starting to be a lot more prominent in taking everything that you can off of the car. You basically strip it down, balance everything, make sure all the the rolling weight and everything is just really smooth. And the lighter you can get it, the better, because like the things that we did was we made lead weights, custom lead weights that we would move from the center to the back to the front on different, depending on which tracks it was. Yeah. And we would adjust the suspension accordingly. And a lot of guys are starting to do that now, because you get the car, I think the weight is like 1,680 pounds or 1,780 pounds now. So you get the car at the end. I think when we built our last short course car, it was right at like 1,480 pounds. So we needed 150 pounds with me in there.
Yeah.
And that was a good way to accomplish that. That means we built a fantastic car. And it was lightweight, it was fast, and it was, when we go to the UTV World Championship, we just take that weight out, and it's even better.
Yeah.
So those types of things go like hand in hand. The more you can tune the car and specifically make it better for those types of racing, the easier it is going to be to accomplish your job. So the next one is, and I think that people might not take it to this level too, but in short course racing, we manage fuel too. So we had a specific amount of fuel that we would use depending on the track conditions. If it was real grippy, real muddy, whatever it was, and we would put that amount of fuel in before we went out on the track. And we would manage the weight with the fuel as well. So there's a lot of little tricks and stuff that you can do.
Well, I remember we were talking a while back. You're like, we could change out your bearings and all that stuff and make them smoother, and like the tires are gonna be spinning a lot faster and a lot easier. I never even thought of that. I was like, man, how much more does that actually help? What is that? And
the less resistance, the better.
Like you got no pull on anything. It just does it. It's really cool.
That's why those Hoosier tires are so awesome for short course racing.
Speaking of those Hoosier tires, you remember when we went to the dunes 2 years ago? You had to go get your paddles.
Yeah, and I drove the Hoosiers.
You were doing it with the Hoosiers, man.
That was actually pretty fun. It was like a moonmobile sliding around.
I was like, man, I almost want to just put them on for a couple hours just to check them out.
It was actually pretty fun. I actually like that. But yeah, so that all goes, and I think that actually goes hand in hand. Even with the desert racing and stuff, you have to have more beefy stuff. But the easier it rolls, the quicker you're going to go, and the car is going to be freer. So it's going to put less load on the motor, and it's going to help everything.
Yeah.
So in a lot of the organizations, though, the racing organizations, like we can't use ceramic bearings or anything like that because they're all illegal.
Yeah.
So not in the transmission, not in the motor, not in the wheels, nothing. Like, so you have to use you can use a good bearing, but technically it's supposed to be a stock bearing, but Yamaha doesn't even make those bearings. Like, there's different manufacturers that make those bearings, and they make higher grade bearings, lower grade bearings, and all that stuff. So I think a lot of the guys that are spending a lot of money, unfortunately we didn't have that budget in our program, but a lot of the guys that are spending a lot of money are getting really good quality bearings and things like that. But on a different level, you have the different type cars too. So you have like the WORCS cars. They're more like so. If you want to put it in a motocross, like motocross, supercross is like the short course stuff. Motocross would be like the WORCS stuff. And then desert is desert stuff. And the WORCS racing, they just had a WORCS race at Glen Helen this past weekend actually, and that stuff looks really fun. I've never got to do one. I did like a AZOP race, which is kind of like that out here in Arizona. But they do like they went on the motocross track at Glen Helen. They went out in the
I didn't get to see that.
They went out behind it. Like it looks super fun. And those cars are set up quite a bit different because the suspension has to be a lot taller for clearances, for bumps and stuff. It has to be a lot softer. The tires can be a little bit bigger because they're less worried about the speed coming out of corners and stuff, and a little bit more worried about punctures and things like that. So a lot of those guys use tire balls or some sort of sealant or foam or something inside their tires so that they don't get flat tires. I think the biggest difference with all these is going to be the suspension, like the shocks and the travel and stuff like that.
Dude, I'm still running stockers, man.
Stock springs?
That's it, buddy.
I think Brian Lopez is too. But yeah, and tuning it and driving it accordingly, the manufacturers make these vehicles so good now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, and it's, especially like at dirt bikes and stuff now too. Like, they're so good. Like, they're really, really come off the showroom floor like bitching. Like, you don't need much of a change.
Yeah.
So for you to run stock stuff is not a big deal. Everybody wants it to be better, right?
Yeah.
But they don't think, like, maybe I could just make a few adjustments and change my driving style and make it a little bit better. Like, I've seen you jump a million times. You jump nice and straight, flat, good to go.
I have my moments.
Well, so if you're setting up a WORCS car, you'd be wanting to set it up a lot softer, a lot more cushy, and a lot more, for that type of terrain. Sometimes they allow a little bit different travel widths and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, they're pretty comparable. And, like even when we had the short course cars and we'd go to the UTV World Championship, we would just change out shocks and tires and just run it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't that much of a difference. And I think that you could probably do the same thing if you want to race short course and WORCS racing. You could just switch out those things before the races and race the same car. So if you're budget minded or budget conscious, you could get it done still. So and the power and stuff with the WORCS racing, I think they're probably going to be the same. I think the power is going to matter less because your times are a lot more drawn out. Yep. Like in short course racing, the times, I think the last year that I was doing it, the times between the top 10 were maybe 13 thousandths maybe 1 second like total between everybody. So between each driver, they were thousandths or hundredths of a second. And in WORCS racing, it's not like that. So that is pretty cool that you can utilize the same cars. But then there's the big difference in desert racing. Like, so the desert cars, you never would be able to ride a short course or WORCS car in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Desert race.
No.
So those cars are built more like, nowadays, they're built like freaking trophy trucks or class 1 cars. Like, they're built beefy, and they need a lot more than what a stock vehicle can provide. They need double alternators. They need double batteries. They need, some of these guys are even putting like 20, 30-gallon tanks of fuel on those things so they don't have to stop. So it's pretty crazy to see like that type of car. And those cars are almost always long travel. And the reason that they run long travel is because if they have to follow or go on the same course as what was the year before in a trophy truck, you can't have stock travel because the trophy truck track width is so big and the ruts that you have to go in, you wouldn't be able to do it. You're going to be sitting on your side the whole time in a rut with one tire. So you have to have a big track width like that. And a lot of those guys use bigger cars like the 4-seaters because they're longer and they soak up the bump better. They use 33-inch tires sometimes, 31-inch tires, like huge tires with definitely puncture-resistant stuff in it so that they don't get flats and they can keep going. But the terrain that they have to go through and rocks and silt and all that stuff, there's no way a short course car could do that. Like, I actually would love to be able to drive one of those full desert cars because I've been a passenger but never been able to drive one, to see how it feels like, if it feels like you're driving a tank or not.
I get your feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you could compare it to like driving a Ferrari compared to a big diesel truck.
Like you feel like you leave the ground, but you don't.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, because those things have tons of dropout and stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
And the shocks are clearly set up different, and the weight distribution is pretty important in those cars. But those things are not built like a short course car, which is just built to go fast, and you can take weight off. These things, weight is still a concern, but you can really still accomplish the same goal if you have a heavier car. You just need to be reliable, not stop, and go as much as you can. And those cars are really, really pieces of work, like pieces of art. They, like, even the Merrills, when Jason was showing me that car and I was last at the shop, like, I was so dumbfounded because I don't think that I would ever be able to understand and complete the level of detail and everything that they have in those cars. Like, it would take me 2 to 3 years to build it before I even got out there.
Right.
Because they're just so much to them. And, they even have, some cars have those, what are those straps that they use on the shocks?
Limit straps. Yeah.
Because they have so much travel on them. So it's really cool to see the difference between all those cars. And hopefully that long-winded story helps some of those people that were asking those questions. I think it's just amazing that these UTVs have come this far.
The way they're looking, man, it's kind of like, what's next? I didn't even think it was going to go this far.
Well, they have that like rally stuff now too.
Yeah.
Have you seen that stuff?
I've seen the YXZs. What they look like these little rally cars. Like that's what they look like. Big old.
They put a different body kit on them.
Yeah, they're weird looking, but they're really cool. Like
I don't think I've seen those.
Yeah, they got windows, and it's just different. They're just different. Nothing here, but
it sounds like it'd be pretty cool. And I've seen some of those courses and stuff too, and they look like it'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Like coming into a corner, like just like the rally cars do, and coming into a corner just, I don't know, 80, 100 feet before it, and just setting the car up and getting it sideways and going through the corners. Because those are like full natural terrain. Like I love that. And you don't have a prep course, like, right? Well, I mean, maybe they brush some of the course, but that'd be really cool. So yeah, like you said, it would be super cool to see where they end up taking UTVs and what is coming in the future. I know that there's a lot of new, I guess we'll call them short course races. They're kind of in between short course and WORCS, and they're just like motocross tracks, but they're built specifically for side-by-sides. They have an awesome one in Texas called Texplex, and these tracks look so bitchin'. They look so freaking cool to ride a UTV on. Like we would have fun taking like a modified play car out there with a good safety system on it and just launching some of these jumps.
Yeah. That's what's hard, right? Finding a good jump for these things, man. If they're not set right, it's going to throw you over.
I saw a couple of people talking about it. I think it was on Facebook or something, and they made a couple good points in saying that you never want to jump a UTV. It doesn't matter if it's a Polaris, or whatever, or a Yamaha or whatever. You never want to jump a UTV unless you can fit 1.5 car lengths onto the jump.
Yep.
Because otherwise, it's going to totally kick the car or do something weird. So anybody that wants to hit a jump, make sure the jump has a little bit of length on it. All right. Well, I want to talk to Matt, and I want to see what he has to say. I want to hear about his life story, his journey up to racing buggies and getting on let's just call it a professional level, and just see how much dedication and work goes into this thing. Because I know from personal experience, but hearing it from other people is really, really meaningful to me, because he's got a day job, he's got to work his ass off, he's got a family, and he's trying to also do off-road racing. Mad props to that dude for getting it going. So we are going to go get Matt on the line. We're going to come back from our commercial break. So take a look at our sponsors. We'll see you guys in a second.
For wheels and tires with the most style, function, and innovation, look no further than Fuel Off-Road. From stock to lifted, dually to trophy truck, and UTV applications, Fuel Off-Road offers the most complete lineup for your next adventure. Whether a weekend warrior or racer, you can't go wrong with Fuel's massive line of trail tough truck and UTV wheels and tires. Good looks, better prices, and the absolute best range of styles and applications. Find us at fueloffroad.com.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Introducing Rigid's new SRL Series light bar, featuring a sleek 20-inch curved housing, ultra-wide forward projecting beam pattern, and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most applications. The halo backlight feature is offered in red, white, blue, or amber, and is wired independently from the forward projecting light. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever to own the night.
Hey guys, George Hamill here to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Solder Weld. Who is Solder Weld, and what is their impact on the off-road community? Well, some of you may have seen Solder Weld's booths at the races, Lint 400, Vegas to Reno, Score and Snore events, and the UTV World Championship. You're seeing their stickers and sponsor wraps on more and more racers' vehicles every year. But who are they, and what do they have to offer us as off-road enthusiasts? Well, late last year, Solder Weld introduced their new off-road repair kit to the off-road industry and sold out their first week. The interest was overwhelming, as many off-roaders already knew of Solder Weld's aluminum radiator repair rods, and now they were included in a convenient carry kit in camo or black. If you're a racer of any type or off-road enthusiast like myself, you're going to want to take a close look at this product. Solder Weld has combined some of their most elite products into one small kit that fits perfectly under your seat or strapped into your roll cage and allows you to make some insane fixes anywhere you go. How many of us have been in a race or out on the trail and got a rock chip in a radiator or a brake line? We've literally seen a top-tier desert race truck at the 2019 Mint 400 taken out by a simple rock to the radiator. If they would have had an off-road repair kit on board, they could have been back up and running in just a minute. The kit includes everything you need to work on dirty aluminum, stainless steel, copper, and many other metals.
Got 'em up there now?
Solder Weld's cutting-edge technology allows you to make these fixes with extremely low heat and incredible high tensile strength, leaving you with a lasting fix every time.
Yeah, I got you.
Don't be that guy who broke down on the side of the trail. Get your off-road repair kit today. Your friends will thank you. All right, so we got probably another 30 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Come back. Welcome back. It's awesome to have Matt Gerald on the phone.
All right.
What's up, guys?
How are you doing tonight, dude?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. We were just talking about the how far Wisconsin was.
From Arizona, it's pretty far.
Well, I think from the rest of the world, kind of.
The big question is the dirt life. Is there a lot of mud down there? Is that how it's?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like
Well, and snow too, right?
the snow stuff.
And snow. Yeah, a lot of snow. But that's only 6 months of the year.
Oof.
Well, that's still a lot, man. Like if we get snow maybe one day of the year, like we're freaking out.
No, it's usually about 3 months that we have snow.
So what do you guys do in the snow time then? Just snowmobile and stuff?
Oh, well, I used to snowmobile quite a bit when I was younger before my accident and stuff. So that was always a lot of fun. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you can find things that make you happy with like snowmobiling, off-roading, whatever it is. Well, okay, so let's just get right to it then, man. So like, how did you grow up with like we'll call it the dirt life? How did you grow up as a dirt life kid?
Well, I grew up at the racetrack in the Midwest, all the Midwest racetracks. My parents were off-road racers, and my dad and my uncle started out on the original Crandon track in the 70s, like 40-some years ago. So I've been around it my whole life. So that's traveled every weekend from Memorial Weekend to October growing up, racing around the Midwest with my dad. So that's pretty much how I got started.
What kind of tracks and what kind of stuff would you do, like when you're traveling? Because I know that the traveling is not just going to a race. You travel, you learn stuff about, from your parents. You learn a lot. You really it sets you up for a completely different life than a kid that doesn't know motorsports or off-roading.
Yeah, it was tough growing up because we were gone every weekend racing. So like playing sports and stuff, it could be tough at times. Like, I couldn't do anything really on weekends, just during the week. So it was tough, but it's what I wanted to do was race. So that was always the most important thing to me. But yeah, it's tough because you're gone and you have your race friends, and then you have your friends back at home. So I always kind of graduated towards hanging out with all my racing friends than I would at home.
It makes sense though, and especially like I was saying, it teaches you a lot because now you're super goal oriented, right? Like you said, you just always want to race, right? But you don't always just want to race. You always want to race. You always want to have the best car. You always want to have the fastest one on the track. You always want to be, on the top of the podium. And so it sets you up for a different mindset, right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I was. I always wanted to have the fastest buggy and the fastest, the best team and everything like that. And it was something I really worked hard for. Having the best team that I could afford and the best equipment that I could afford.
Even if you couldn't afford it, though, I mean, you'd probably spend more time just putting in effort yourself, right?
Yeah, and with my friends too, definitely. Just making work with what we had. So it was always a struggle, but we always did well. So it was definitely worth it.
And so you raced off-road most of the time, and then how did you get hurt?
Yeah, I raced off-road buggies for about 10, 12 years. And
what
I raced
age were you?
16. What's that?
What age were you?
I started out when I was 17.
Oh, cool.
So I raced light buggy for about 10, 12 years. I can't even remember. But it's like the 1600 light buggy class. It's a step down from 1600. It's like what you guys see a lot of out west. Mm-hmm. But it's equally matched Volkswagen cars, and we usually have like 40 of them. It's like the best class ever, like to watch, I think, in my opinion. And the racing's so close, and I was always really good at that class, and I really had a lot of fun with it.
And so you kept racing, obviously, and you made it to a certain level.
Yeah. So when I got some sponsors, and I was able to, kind of make a name for myself in the class, and then I got some offers from different sponsors, and I got a chance to race Pro Light a couple of times.
Ooh.
And the first time I got to race Pro Light, I drove Jeff Kincaid's truck. I know Keegan's dad. I'm sure you've probably heard of him.
That's awesome.
He's a legend here. And I got to drive his truck, and it was a lot of fun. And and I was so close to signing a deal with a major sponsor, and at the last second they backed out just because it was kind of when the economy started to tank in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Things just fell apart, and then I I went back to racing buggies, and then I was able to get another deal 2 years later to race Pro Light again for a couple races, and I did okay, but it just never was able to secure the deal, to race full time in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't understand that either. Even when I first started going to these short course races, it's you just see a truck driving on the track, right? So you don't really know, or a buggy, and you don't really know like what's behind it. Coming out racing dirt bikes and stuff, I figured, you just buy it and go race, right? Yeah. But you can spend anywhere from $50,000 on a Pro Light up to, let's just say, $500,000 on a Pro 4, and that's not even half the budget. The rest of the financial burden is getting their crew and all the maintenance and parts that you got to do. Like, so you got to have a really healthy pocketbook to be able to do this stuff.
Yeah, actually, the truck is, like, in the grand scheme of things, the truck is actually the cheap part of the whole deal. Like it's thousands and thousands of dollars a weekend just to go race. And then if you hurt a motor, hurt a transmission, torque converter, anything like that, it all costs a lot of money. And like a wheel, let's say, I think that they're like, Mikey Van Den Heuvel was telling me his wheels are like $650 a piece.
Why are they special?
Yeah, just, billet aluminum wheels.
Oh, because they're all forged. Yeah,
they can hold it.
They're all forged wheels. Yeah. They actually make some fuel. One of our sponsors makes some badass forged wheels for UTVs and stuff now. Then they do it for big trucks too. I wish it was a lot cheaper, and that's why the UTVs are so freaking popular.
I'd be doing it, and it's still expensive even with the UTV stuff.
Yeah, it's really expensive. Well, and what made you, like, are you interested in the UTVs at all?
Nah, it's not really my forte. I'm more a purist. I like the short course trucks and the buggies better personally, but they are fun. I ripped around in my buddy Alex one time. He had a Razor. It was pretty fun, but I just like, after I've driven a race truck, like it's kind of hard to go back into a UTV. Like if you drive a Pro Light and then I don't know. There's just nothing that compares to that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I was able to get a test session in a Pro Light, Casey Curry's championship winning torque truck, and I got to do a test session in that thing, and it's night and day difference. The good thing that I do have to say, though, is that the growth of UTVs is making it kind of bridging the gap just a little bit. So
it's getting a lot more popular, and it's really cool to see all the drivers coming in and then moving into. I think in our series we had a couple guys that moved into the pro classes just from UTVs, which has been pretty cool. Like, I think there's a handful of them that are racing Pro Light and Pro 4 now.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, clearly CJ is probably the top guy. I mean, he goes from one of the baddest Pro 4s to a UTV at every race, so that's cool. And then I saw Cheney got a Pro 4 too, and he races turbo UTVs, so that's really cool.
Yep.
So, all right, the hardest question, man. How'd you get hurt?
So, 2012, it was. I got a ride. I'll kind of set the stage a little bit. I got picked up to race for a independent team, and it wasn't the best truck, wasn't the best equipment, but it was awesome that I got the opportunity, and I was going to make the best of it. And I was racing against CJ and Keegan and all the top guys that are in off-road right now. And we got to Redbud, and I was Redbud, Michigan. I'm sure you guys know that track.
Oh, yeah. The motocross track, that track's awesome.
Yeah, so they had an off-road track that was built there, and we raced there, and it was in practice, or actually it was in qualifying when I got hurt. There was a big step up, and up the face of it, the rear end of the truck kind of like washed out a little bit, and I stayed in the throttle, and I ended up casing this big step up jump, and ended up breaking my back at T12L1. That's the first fracture.
That's the same area that I broke my back, and I think I know which jump you're talking about too. It was like a long launch up a hill, right?
Yeah, it was, and it was stupid on my part. I should have backed down, but I was going for it, and I was that's racing, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those racer things that you can't do. Like, we were talking about this for a motocross show that we did the other day, and when we were at Supercross and stuff, if you didn't do the jumps by the second lap, your brain would take over. You weren't going to do it. So you just had to go out there and just do it like right away. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough because I'm out there trying to compete with some of these guys, and I know that, or I knew that I could drive pretty well, or as good as, not as good as those guys, but pretty well. And I wanted to make a statement, and that's kind of when it happened. So, shit happens, but
yeah, you can't look back on that with regrets, though. Like, what do you want to talk about a little bit more about the injury and talk about your process and stuff like that? Because when you have an injury like that, clearly I'm very similar. So it changes your mindset.
Yeah, it was tough at first because when they brought me into the when I went back in and they gave me my evaluation, they told me that my back was broken and then there would be a good chance that I would never walk again. And I just remember saying oh man, that guy's kind of full of crap. I'll be all right. And
well, let's preface the story. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're walking already.
Definitely, yeah. I'm totally happy.
So our listeners definitely like that. It just gives me the chills just thinking about that, man. Like doctors telling you that you're gonna be fucked, and you get up and you just kill it, man. That's awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it was hard work. I was in a hospital in Chicago for 3-4 months and learning how to walk again and getting my strength back. And I noticed the way your gait is. It's very similar to mine. So we kind of walk like penguins, but
yeah.
We're walking, and it's awesome.
Yeah, kudos to you, man, for going through all that and building yourself back up to do it. You got to give yourself a pat on the back every day.
And not only that, is to keep pushing forward, because there are several people out there that just their mindset's so bad, man, and to be able to be strong enough to go, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep pushing, I'm gonna get out of bed today, I'm gonna go do it. So, and that's what I see a lot in this guy. Till this day, man, I'll always bring it up when we talk about it. That day I got in your race car 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yep.
I was trying to get in his race car, and I was struggling because it's the little opening or whatever. He's like, "What are you, sissy?" I'll never forget it, man. I will never forget it, because I was like, "How the hell are you already in? What the hell?"
Yeah.
But it's crazy. It's awesome that you guys keep doing what you're doing and being strong about it.
Definitely not easy. Some days are better than others. Right. You guys don't experience, but the cold weather here, it kills me. I can't wait till we move out to Arizona someday.
Yeah.
It's the cold wet, because I still have all the titanium in my back yet from the surgery, and it just January, February, I'm kind of miserable. It's tough. But it is what it is.
I can only imagine that cold weather. I experience a lot of that same stuff too. I have it's probably just under a foot in length, but I have my hip put together by a big rod, and I still have all my metal in my back, and then I have a bunch of metal in both my ankles and stuff, and now I have metal in my face. But I even got titanium ears now. How cool is that? But anyways, I know exactly what you're talking about, because when the weather is cold, it almost feels like, have you ever had somebody well, you probably have, somebody puts an ice cube down your back, in your shirt?
Yeah.
Well, this feels like you can't get the freaking ice cube, somebody put it in your skin.
Oh, yeah.
And it gets and that's Arizona. And so for him, it probably feels like somebody's bone chilling in the freezer or something.
Yeah, I have to, so when it snows, I have to snow blow my driveway and stuff, which is no problem. But as soon as I'm done, I got to hop in the hot shower to get my circulation back in my feet.
Yep. And that's a lot of the things that people don't understand too, is when you have an injury like that, and every spinal cord injury is different, but the nerve function, one of my legs will get hot and sweat, the other doesn't sweat at all, and it stays a normal temperature. So you have to be really careful not to overheat your leg or your foot. It's just weird.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even think of that.
And I can only imagine, because I have a problem with the cold too, like I said, but I can only imagine him, I have to wear these, thermal socks and all that. If he's out there snowed, because he's probably out there for, 3 or 4 hours?
No, my driveway's not that big, but maybe 2 hours at the most.
That's still a long time to be out there in the freezing cold. So you must have, it down. I'm going to call you for tips on when I need to go to cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you must have it down pat. Well, give us a little bit of information on how you got better, and take us through the story of what it took for you to start walking again, and how I always really intrigued by the mental state. So I want to know how your brain was and what you thought.
right after my accident, like I was trying to stay as positive as I could, just because I wanted to get back to walking and I wanted to make the best life I could for myself. Obviously, a lot of physical therapy. It took. I think I was in physical therapy for 2 years after my accident, just learning how to walk. I was doing OT and PT.
Yep.
I was doing pool therapy, and then I was working out all the time at the gym by my house.
Yeah, you were doing more than you had to.
Yeah, and I was staying positive as I could, and it's tough, like being around all my friends that were racing, and then not being able to do it again. And then like I started getting a lot stronger, and I thought about, looking at I didn't sell my cars yet, and I'm like, man, I think I could back into this. And
did it give you motivation to think like that?
Yeah, and like I didn't want to like get bucked off the horse, as they would say, I guess. Like I wanted to get back on the horse, and get back to racing. I knew I wasn't going to be as fast as I used to be, and that's always tough. Because as a competitor, it's tough, not being able to race for the wins anymore. But I think the first year that I came back, I was doing pretty well. I was top 5 all the time. So I was just trying to stay as positive as I could, and make all the best decisions I can.
Yeah, that's cool. And like I said, I want to get into a little bit more of the mental thing, though, because when you're going through that day to day and you see all these guys racing, like I got hurt riding a dirt bike, and for the longest time, I'd watch Supercross and be like, what the fuck? I should be out there. I should be killing it. I could beat that guy. Like, he's doing good. Why am I not doing good? But you have to turn it around in your head and be like, you know what? Would he be doing as good as I am right now in this rehab process? When I finish rehab, can I get back on the bike? And you have to really focus on what you do have.
Yeah. I was kind of the same way too. I would go back and watch, I would go and watch the buggy races and stuff, and it's like, man, I know I could kick that guy's butt, and like, it was just frustrating to see guys that I know that I was faster than out there winning, but that's part of life and part of racing. That's not the hand I was dealt. So
yeah, and it's a motivator too to get you back out there, I'm sure.
Exactly, huge motivator to get back out, and like I had some goals when I got back into racing that I wanted to be a top 5 guy, and I wanted to, be able to finish as many races as I could, and stay as safe as I could. So I always had the best safety equipment, after my accident and everything like that.
So when you go through all that rehab stuff, you clearly have a bunch of support mechanisms. Like even just now, me having this latest injury, I have a amazing friends and amazing family that I have for support mechanisms. I'm sure you had that kind of same thing.
Yeah, I have a ton of awesome friends that have helped me out throughout the whole thing. A lot of in my family, my mom and my fiance Allison were obviously the 2 biggest supporters I had, and my dad and everything. It was great, like not letting me feel sorry for myself, and I didn't ever really feel sorry for myself at all. I just tried to stay as positive as I could, and tried to use my family life to help me get better, and use racing and to help me get better. So it was always a struggle, but I was able to get through it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And we have a good comment right there. Tell them what Jeff Wolf said.
Let's see. Jeff Wolf, Matt and the Gerald family are buggy legends in Midwest off-road. Is that true?
I don't know about that, but
I don't know if we can say that. We're not any legends over here in Arizona. We're just normal dudes trying to get out there in the dirt as much as possible. So kudos to you and having that outlook, and not just for the stuff that you're doing, but it's pretty clear if you see a comment like that and you look at the overall picture, you're affecting other people and you're changing their lives because they look at you in a positive fashion like that. So that's another thing that you should definitely put as a positive mental strength in your rehab and in your everyday life, man. You're helping people.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying my best, and I'm not perfect, and I have a strong desire to win. and sometimes people can think bad of that, but the guys that I help out in racing and the guys that I coach, they know that if I'm hard on them, it's kind of because I want them to do well, and I don't like losing, so that's probably my biggest fault in life.
That trait right there is why he's walking.
Yeah,
because he didn't want to lose. He wants to win.
Let's get into, like, do you have anything? Let's talk about your buggy a little bit.
Sure.
Suspension setup. If you have anything, like Georgie over here has the seat to help him prop him up a little bit better. Talk about anything.
Yeah, the adaptive clutch.
Yeah, so that anything that helps you in a way that you could still keep going with all this.
Sure. Now I've taken 2 years off of racing to focus on my career outside of racing right now, and but my car is set up like Mike Vanden Heuvel helped me out after the accident. I've got a ISP seat, and we have to have it so it's right underneath my thighs, so it's tipped back, so I can have full control of my legs, and it's supported underneath my thigh. And then there's a tunnel for my clutch foot, my left foot. So when I'd go around corners, my left foot would come off of the pedal, and I couldn't get it. I wasn't strong enough to get it back on because I didn't have the laterals.
Flexors or whatever on the outside, your leg, because I can make the visual here for us, is your leg moves side to side and you can't actually get it back. So when you're under a big G-force and it pushes it that way, his legs and my legs aren't strong enough to get it back. You know what I mean? So it sounds like what he did was he built some sort of tunnel that holds his leg from moving all the way over there.
Yeah, so like ours was built out of aluminum. It was it's very professionally done, and then I have fireproof padding to hold my leg in there. Mm-hmm. And there's a nice crumple zone too if someone were to ever get into the side of my car, that I'd be safe for it. And I've got a handbrake in the car, which I didn't really want, but it really helps. We redid the pedals, we made them nice and big, and we went to my gas pedal was a floor mounted pedal, and after some testing we had to change that up. We did a hanging pedal, and Mike Vanden Heuvel custom fabbed a nice pedal for me.
The hanging pedals are a lot easier because they have different leverage and you can push on them with your whole foot instead of just your heel.
Exactly, yeah, because my ankle, with being in the braces, my ankles don't work. So I'm using my whole leg to push the gas or push the brake. So it's tough for people like George and I, like coming out of a corner to roll in the throttle, because it's almost like an on-off switch for us, or at least it is for me. I don't know about you, George, but
I manage the throttle with the brake, so I would be full throttle, but I would end up pushing on the brake to make it feel like half throttle.
You trail brake? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's why the Yamaha was such a good car for me, because I didn't have to worry about burning belts in a CVT.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and with my car being a manual, I can't do that. I have to use the clutch. So
that's why we put the clutch on the top. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Definitely. That's probably a better idea.
So what a little bit of what Matt's describing is, like, for me and him, we almost hold our legs up like this the whole time and just use a stepping motion to operate the pedals. It sounds like his setup's pretty sweet, though, being able to divide it.
Yeah. To be able to still do that, because I know in the ShortCourse stuff you weren't able to do that stuff, right? You weren't able to change certain things. Yeah.
But that's bitching that he set it up like that.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of time, and I'm thankful for Mike for doing that for me. And the first time we went out and I tested it, like it wasn't right the first time. Like it took us some adjusting to get the car set up perfect, so where I could start driving comfortably again and not worrying that I'm going to hurt myself or hurt somebody else because I can't get my feet on the pedals. And now, like, when I hop in the car, it's like second nature. It doesn't even seem like anything is wrong.
And it's crazy, too, like, to think about that. Like, you've driven my cars before, and a bunch of different people driven my cars, and right when they get in, like, we even went and did taught a course at the Bondurant Driving School. They had us out there as teachers and stuff. And the instructors that are professional drivers got in the car, and they couldn't figure out, like, they would stall it with the clutch.
Yeah.
But 2 seconds later, they're like, holy shit. Like, I would rat I'm not even messed up, and I would rather do it this way because you designed it better than the manufacturer.
That's what I said
did.
that last time. I was like, man, I think I want to switch over to this.
So who knows? Like if we got in his car, maybe it's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think I've had some people drive my car too, just around the pits and everything like that, and it's kind of intimidating at first. And they see that divider, and they get in it, they don't even notice it. So
yeah,
it works out really good.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get back and start doing that stuff. You and I have had a couple conversations over the years, just because we have similar stories. But what did it feel like to get back out on the course, or like have the ability to do this, man? It must have been so gratifying.
Yeah, it was awesome. My first race back was in 2015, I think, and my first race out, I got a 4th place. So I was pretty stoked on that. Like, and the guys I was racing against, like I think it was Jeff Villamere and Mark Steinhardt, some of these top echelon drivers that are in our class that I look up to. I was able to finish behind them, and they weren't that far away from me, but it was pretty awesome, my first race back.
I bet you it was like you got off the track and it was probably euphoric.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I miss it so much, and it was it was so much fun. Like when it's taken away from you, you don't realize how awesome it is to drive a race car.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely believe that. I've been kind of on the fence lately about whether I want to get back in one or not. But to me, I don't know that. I think that my mindset is kind of settled now compared to what it used to be. Like I always had a feeling that I had to prove myself. Like, fuck this, I'm going to go out and I'm going to win still. Like, I got to do it. And now I've started, I'm a lot older, but I started to realize that I've already won.
Yeah.
And I think Matt has too. Clearly, he's doing awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely a mindset thing where I want to win, but that it is, maybe it's not meant for me anymore. But as long as I have fun,
game called life, you're definitely winning, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
What kind of stuff do you do on a daily basis? What other hobbies and stuff do you got going on, and work and all that?
So work keeps me pretty busy, and then my stepson Levi with his he's pretty hardcore into basketball, so that keeps me pretty busy with that stuff too. So that's pretty much all we do on the weekends. We like to go out fishing and do some family stuff, but with the racing, I'm always so busy with that. This summer, like, it was just nonstop.
And you're helping teams and stuff, or what do you got going with that?
Yep, I'm helping teams out, and I run a program for a Super Buggy team, and then I've got two teams that I kind of driver coach for, so it keeps me pretty busy.
See, that's awesome, man. That mentality never goes away. Even if your body goes away, that brain set. What's that last comment that we see right there, Cody?
Sam Jacques. You know who Sam Jacques is?
Oh, Sam Fox? Yeah.
There you go. Matt Gerald is one of the nicest and hella talented guys in the off-road.
Boom.
Totally badass to see him get recognition for his driving and story.
Dude. Yeah, and it's really awesome for me to hear this. Like, I love hearing these stories of motivation and overcoming what you're not supposed to be able to do. I mean, like, just think about when he was in the hospital. Do you think that at any point he ever thought he wasn't going to race, or he wasn't? No, he did, but everybody else did, and he just showed him what's up.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yep.
That's so cool, man. Well, and so working basketball. Oh, that's a good question. So you know how they have moto dads? Do they got basketball dads too?
Yeah, that's me. Like I said, I'm that guy who hates to lose. So
out there yelling, dude, get him! There's no traveling. That wasn't traveling.
Fiance Allison, that's like that more than I am.
Right on. That's awesome, man. Well, what does the future hold for you then? Are you going to try to see if you can get back in the car, or are you going to keep helping these teams, or what's next?
So we're having a race in October, and it's just kind of a fun race, and it's just a buggy. They're having 2 buggy classes, and then they're having some side-by-side racing. I think I'm gonna run my single buggy just because I don't have to really work on anybody's car or anything. I can just concentrate on my stuff. So I think I'm just going to do that, see how I do, see what the future holds from there. But
well, if the future does hold coming out to Arizona, even if you're coming out just on vacation, please come and say hi to us, and you can try out our cars.
Yeah,
definitely.
That'd be awesome to have you down here.
Yeah, I totally would love to do that. I've got some friends out in Arizona that I've made just from the racing world, like Sean Geiser and Kevin McCullough. And yeah, that's what's cool about racing is you meet people from all over the country.
Yeah, and they're usually like-minded people too.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about that before the show, actually, Cody and I, and it's cool to hear those. Like, everybody just likes the same shit, and they want to do the same shit, so they want to help you and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that, man. Well,
that's the part about off-road is just the people that you meet, and like I'm fortunate that I have made friends all across the country because of this. So
that is really cool, man. How do you deal with the mental side of things and stay positive these days?
Sometimes, like I said earlier, sometimes it's a struggle, but I'm happy that I'm walking. I'm happy that I can enjoy things with my family. Sometimes it's tough, like you're tired and you're sore, but sometimes you just got to power through it and make the best of what you can.
Yeah.
Because there's always people that have it worse than I do. And, one thing I kind of keep in the back of my mind, like when I was in the hospital, I made a lot of friends that are with dudes that are driving wheelchairs right now. And I'm fortunate to, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm fortunate I was able to come through, and that's not the life I need to live. And that's kind of why I wanted to come back and go racing again, is just because, those people can't do what they love to do anymore. And, I wanted to kind of do them proud too. I kind of had a nice close knit circle of friends that I made while I was in hospital in Chicago. And a lot of them told me, that I needed to get back to racing. So that was kind of why I did it.
Yeah, that's good, man. And like we talked before, that mental strength. Well, we had a user, his name is Casey Peck. He's friends with Mike Garrison at Live RC. And Casey Peck is a very talented RC car racer. He's one of my good friends. He was on the show last week. He wants to know where that connection with Live RC came from.
I am friends with Brandon Rohde, the guy who owned Live RC. And we used to race RC I used to race RC all the time when I was younger. And we just kind of made a connection. And I had a relationship with Team Associated. And I just kind of built that relationship. And that's kind of how I got in with Live RC. He wanted to do a full wrap on the car. And, we started out small. And now we graduated. And we gradually got it bigger. And so it's through Brandon Rohde and Team Associated that I got hooked up with it, but it's been awesome.
Right on,
Awesome,
man.
man.
Yeah. So he said he knows Brandon too. That's cool, man. And you know what?
Now Brandon is actually doing. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but Brandon now is doing a lot of the live stream for the Midwest races out here. So that was kind of one of the things that he wanted to do when he made the relationship with me.
Dude, I need to talk to that guy about our freaking system here so it goes better. Well, that's cool, man. And that's the best way to grow sponsors. Like, we always talk about this, and grow sponsors and relationships and partners and stuff. It's never to just go and ask for money. It's always about going and seeing what they need, and it's clear that you guys grew it from the ground up, and that's just bitching.
Yeah. That's how it is, how it's been with all my marketing partners that, like, Amsoil's been with me from day one. And I can't, like, they're awesome. Like, whatever I need, they're always there to help me out. And a lot of other partners that I have, like Hooker Harness and FK Rod Ends, they've always just been really big supporters of me, and it's been nice. They help us out.
That's really cool. And having those partners is so crucial. I mean, we just talked about it. It's not cheap.
No.
So for him to just get, supplies given to him, parts, with everything, it's bitching.
Yeah, it's tough nowadays. Like, when I started out, like, we used to be able to get tires for free all the time, and now no sportsman team really gets, not too many sportsman team get free tires anymore. especially if you're not winning all the time. So
yeah,
it's tough.
exactly. And it brings up another good point though too, is that, and this is a qualification that I have too, is you get your sponsors a lot on your outlook and your persona, the things that you're doing. It's not necessarily that these guys are going, all right, he's just in the sportsman class, I'm not going to give him tires anymore. They're going, what can I still do for him because he's such a good person? We want to represent that type of person, and the results can become secondary because he's a really good marketing partner.
Yeah, that's I'm not gonna lie, that's how my relationship with Team Associated was. Brad over there, the marketing guy, he didn't really care what the results were that we had week to week, but he just cared that I was out there using their equipment when I was RC racing and always talking positive about it. And it wasn't a huge partner, but it's pretty cool to have a nationally named brand that I represent. It's
yeah, absolutely,
really
and they're taking a chance on you too. I mean, like, how do they know if you can drive a race car good because of your disability or whatever it is? Like, they're really going off, and they're doing it because you're a good dude.
Yeah, I had a lot of marketing partners though prior to this, and a lot of these guys have stayed with me through my accident. So
again, that's a personality thing. That's being a representative of their company, and they still feel confident in you. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and too, it's hard work to keep them all up to date on everything, and I try to have a good image, as best I can. So
hey, there we go. Daily Pentago says, "Let's go buggy racing."
Hashtag Buggy Dorks.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I want to see you back out on the track. So if we can ever do anything to help you, if you want to plug some sponsors, if you want to do a public service announcement right now, go for it, man.
Yeah, just, I want to thank all the marketing partners that we've had over the years. Definitely liverc.com, AMSOIL, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, FK Rod Ends, Webcam Shafts. God, there's so many. I can't remember them all, but just thanks for always supporting me, and thanks for having me on the show, guys. I really appreciate it.
No problem, man. Well, I would like to do my own little PSA for Matt. I think if anybody out there really wants to find a good marketing partner and somebody that's going to give back to them, it might not be a bad idea to take out some of your marketing budget and put it on a guy like that, because he's going to do a good job.
Well,
definitely.
Solid.
Thanks, guys.
Solid.
Well, you're awesome, dude, and it's really good to talk to you. I hope it's not too cold up there right now, and I hope you come to Arizona and visit with us.
No, dude, it's like 80. It was like 85 degrees today. It seemed like it was hot.
Yeah, but the humidity level's at what?
I don't even know.
I think up there it's not too bad. But well, thank you very much, Matt. You're an awesome dude, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks, George.
You got it, dude.
Easy, man.
We'll see you later. Thanks, Matt.
See ya.
All right, that was Matt Gerald. He's he kind of got me going a little bit there.
I knew that was going to be a touchy one for you, man. Because
you know what though, it's motivation, dude. It really is. Like, I love that stuff because he's just such a good dude. Like, it's hard to understand what people go through sometimes. You could see a guy going in a Circle K gas station. He might be dirty. He might be coming from work.
Yeah.
You don't know if that dude had a shitty day. You don't know if you can make him feel better. And Matt is probably making everybody around him feel a lot better because he's just, like I said, a good dude. So it's cool to see that. It's cool to have him on the show. And it's cool to see he never gave up.
Yep.
Ever.
So how do you feel talking to somebody with close of the same accident? Like, how does it...
I want to help him.
Did you ever think
if I was a millionaire, I'd give him $1 million to go do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I had $1,001, I'd give him the $1 million and take the one, because I'd want to go help him and let him be able to do it. But I don't feel like I need to. I feel like he can do it. I feel like he's a strong dude. I feel like he's already overcome all this shit. Why not keep going, keep that positive mindset, and keep building his program and get back in the buggy when, maybe he'll have an opportunity to drive a pro light again. Yeah. You never know. And even though he doesn't like UTVs that much and he really wants to keep it, the fundamentals of racing to what the core is, I think if he got offered a UTV ride and it was popular,
I think he'll take it too.
and you know what? I think he'd go kick some ass.
I
too.
know. I bet you kill it.
How much you want to bet he'd be in the top 5 first race?
Yeah.
So it's good to see that, man, and I love it. I really do, and I appreciate dudes like that more than anything. So we are going to talk with Garrett Maxwell from 518 Designs. Let's go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
For wheels and tires with the most style, function, and innovation, look no further than Fuel Off-Road. From stock to lifted, dually to trophy truck, and UTV applications, Fuel Off-Road offers the most complete lineup for your next adventure. Whether a weekend warrior or racer, you can't go wrong with Fuel's massive line of trail tough truck and UTV wheels and tires. Good looks, better prices, and the absolute best range of styles and applications. Find us at fueloffroad.com.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best Desert and SCORE. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Introducing Rigid's new SRL Series light bar, featuring a sleek 20-inch curved housing, ultra-wide forward projecting beam pattern, and a unique halo backlight feature offered in 4 color options. The SRL Series light bar's new optic combination projects light over 70 degrees wide, with more than enough distance to safely drive in low visibility conditions, making it the perfect lighting solution for most applications. The halo backlight feature is offered in red, white, blue, or amber, and is wired independently from the forward projecting light. Instantly transition from style to function with the flip of a switch, making it easier than ever to own the night.
Hey guys, George Hamill here to talk to you about one of our sponsors, Solder Weld. Who is Solder Weld, and what is their impact on the off-road community? Well, some of you may have seen Solder Weld's booths at the races, Mint 400, Vegas to Reno, SCORE and SNOR events, and the UTV World Championship. You're seeing their stickers and sponsor wraps on more and more racers' vehicles every year. But who are they, and what do they have to offer us as off-road enthusiasts? Well, late last year, Solder Weld introduced their new off-road repair kit to the off-road industry and sold out their first week. The interest was overwhelming, as many off-roaders already knew of Solder Weld's aluminum radiator repair rods, and now they were included in a convenient carry kit in camo or black. If you're a racer of any type or off-road enthusiast like myself, you're going to want to take a close look at this product. Solderweld has combined some of their most elite products into one small kit that fits perfectly under your seat or strapped into your roll cage and allows you to make some insane fixes anywhere you go. How many of us have been in a race or out on the trail and got a rock tip on a radiator or a brake line? We've literally seen a top-tier desert race truck at the 2019 Mint 400 taken out by a simple rock tip radiator.
All right, cool, man.
If they would have had an off-road repair kit on board, they could have been back up and running in just
All right, hell yeah. So what you got going on in the shop? You got anything cool over there?
On dirty aluminum,
Just got a boat going on,
and many other
then a
metals.
car for Dixon.
Solderwell's cutting-edge technology
we definitely want to do that.
allows
So
you
we'll
to
talk
make
about
these
some of that
fixes with
fun shit that
extremely
you
low
got going on over there.
and incredible high
If you want to
tensile
showcase
strength,
some of the stuff,
leaving you with a
then
lasting
we can,
fix every time.
you can take
Don't
us
be
out the
that guy
shop or
broke
whatever you
down
want
on
to
the
do.
side
So
of the
we'll
trail. Get your off-road
wing it.
repair kit today. Your friends
We got
will
about,
thank you.
I don't know, probably 30 seconds or so until we go on. Oh, here it comes. Ready?
Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, buddy. We got Garrett Maxwell from 518 Designs on. What's up, Garrett?
What is going on? Just another day.
Another day in the Arizona heat.
That is true. It cooled off today, though.
Ton with wraps and just other fun stuff, projects, a helmet, and just cool stuff. And every time I go up to the shop, I see all the cool stuff that you're working on. So to me, it's like a kid in a candy store. So I love, and you get to do it every day.
Every day.
That's really rad. What are some of the things that you enjoy the most with? Well, actually, before that, tell everybody what your company does.
So we do everything print. I mean, obviously, we're a little bit more motorsports based. A lot influenced by racing. I grew up racing, so that has a lot of influence on it. But anything that's print and in that marketing era or realm of things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
Screen printing, T-shirts, all that, everything, right?
everything, banners, business cards, easy ups, wraps,
You got that big
everything.
machine, you could just put something in there and it does it for you?
Load it up. We got 2 printers, screen print machine. So, you load it up, let it run.
So one of the things that we were talking about at the beginning of the show was hustle. And you are a dude that has a shitload of hustle. And I think that comes from your dirt life, right? Your motocross background.
100%. I 100% give credit to that. Growing up racing dirt bikes, it's all on you. There's nothing you want it, you have to go get it.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably learned to work on your own dirt bike. You probably learned how to build jumps, all that shit, right?
Everything. You come home from school, you go ride BMX bikes with your buddies, crash, go back home, work on the dirt bikes, and then go ride them on the weekends.
Give a shout out to some of your buddies that you grew up with.
Oh, man. There's all kinds of them. Justin Dyer, Zach Wargett. I mean, everybody from Chase Thomas, Anthony Zamora. I mean, all these dudes I grew up with. Hunter Nelson, everybody.
Yeah, moto guys.
All moto guys.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And it really does. We talked about it, I think, on the first or second show, like how much it actually teaches you when you don't have any other options and you have to do it yourself, like what Garrett just said. And Cody and I grew up kind of in the same way too, and we grew up without resources, and we had to do it all ourselves.
Well, I think motocross alone kind of teaches you so much. How to you fall down, you get back up. There's no other option.
Yep.
You want to get better. It's on. You have to figure out how to do it, and that quit isn't in you. Or you just don't do it.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. And I bet you, owning a business, I guarantee there's failures, but he's probably taken those failures, turned them into a positive, and done it better for the next customer.
100%. You have to. You know what I mean? I ain't got no budget for like that when I started. I cashed in coins to start this thing. So
and
now you got to make do with what you got.
Yeah, and now your hustle is still just as strong, and you're doing a great job, man. Like I said, when I went in there, I was really surprised to see what I saw. Like, I'm used to businesses like that being, I don't want to say lackadaisical because that's a pretty harsh word, but they're relaxed in their environment, and they don't strive to get better. They don't strive to grow. They may not hustle as hard. I know a lot of people do, and they're failures, but whatever he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, for real.
Yeah, it's cool. And you got a cool studio. You built it good. You're a good designer.
Thank you.
What kind of stuff? I don't know if you could take us around the studio or the shop and stuff, too.
You want to check it out?
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Oh,
and,
look at that RC car sitting up there.
Oh, yeah. I saw the RC car. That looked pretty cool. That's got some stickers on it, too. Hey, I'm going to hit you up when I get new RC car body for some stickers.
That's fine, man. We can do it. So my office is here. This is the original shop. We got a old showroom in here.
Nice.
Kind of needs to be fixed up. One of my dirt bikes, and then one of my buddies who passed away, Buddy Wentworth's bikes. So it stays here with us.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Keeping it alive for him and his memory. That's cool.
One of the designer offices, and then this was my old office in here. So got a quote up there. My dad told me when I was 19, "You aren't dedicated enough." So I live by that.
Oh, that's cool.
I've got
dang!
Some Funko Gen 4 bodies that we prepped and getting ready to go matte black for a customer.
Oh, right on.
And then we got a big DCB we just finished.
That Cody, that's right up your alley, huh?
That's it, dude.
Cody's definitely into the boats, dude. Dang.
So we just wrapped that thing.
How gnarly was that to wrap?
So it actually wasn't bad. The hardest part for us was all the seams up top. I don't know if you can see all that.
Yeah, because they're different creases and stuff.
Yeah, so it's all done. We're just laying the final stripes on.
Dude, that
right
thing
now.
is sexy.
Pickle fork, dude.
That thing looks good, man. How long is that thing? Just so they can get an understanding of how big.
I want to say it's 28 or 29 feet. It's an F29. I'm assuming that's the length. I'm not too sure. I'm not in the boat world all that much,
Yeah, that's just a big piece of that. So that just goes to show how big the shop is.
Dude.
So this is, we got this shop, and then all the printing's done upstairs. Is where everything's done up there. I can give you a quick tour. We got a car we're wrapping for Dixon Flannel Company right here.
Oh, you do work for Dixon too, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's rad. Yeah, we have some people that are sponsored by Dixon that are going to come on the show in a couple of weeks here. Mike and Danielle Gardner. That's a good company too.
Yeah, those dudes are way rad.
Are they based out of Phoenix or California?
They're from Tempe.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, Dixon's in Tempe. You got Zach, Patrick. We're just finishing up this stuff here, putting in the long hours.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then, print shop, print area.
You got a nice facility, dude. That's for damn sure.
That's cool being upstairs like that. That's cool.
And seeing all that stuff. Mm-hmm. I remember when I went there, it was a little overwhelming too, because I was like, "Dang, man, this place is super cool." And he's got like a little area on the side there. I don't know if you can see the graphics, but they're where you take pictures and stuff. So his right there. So his clients or his customers can take pictures and get some nice photos of their like UTVs or whatever it is that they wrap.
Then over here? Over here's where our showroom now is. We've outgrown, I guess, that shop. And so we have this one.
Uh-oh.
Let's see, he'll jump Wi-Fi's real quick.
So.
I'm not sure if you had to jump Wi-Fi's, but we can't see you anymore.
No, it's black. Hold on. Hold on.
Like when you go up there and see the facility, it's pretty cool, man. Oh, there you go. There's a side-by-side right there, a 4-seat Razor.
So this is the other shop. So we got a Razor we got to do for a customer, and then just our van.
Oh, that is your van you're talking about, Cody?
Yeah. I've seen it around, man. I've seen it around.
And then up here is the new showroom. A little bit different. Let me turn some lights on so you guys can see what's going on here.
Man, that thing looks nice. Look at all that apparel and stuff there.
So a little bit different of a showroom than you typically would see, you know what I mean? A little bit cleaner, a little bit simpler. The shirts we typically sell, color change vinyl, some samples, some hats, just kind of a little bit of everything,
Yeah, exactly. That's actually really cool, man. I like that wood, too. It kind of reminds me of this little studio we got here. His might be... His is probably vinyl too, but his is probably a little bit better because he did it on his own.
Yeah, is yours vinyl?
Yeah, it is.
And then these are real.
Oh, that's real?
Yeah, these are real.
Oh, I thought it was just really good looking vinyl.
And this is all just printed with glass countertops.
Dude, that's so cool. And he's done a bunch of stuff for cool companies too, like AJE Motorsports, I think is what it's called, and the Supercross guys. And what are some of the more fun projects that you've been able to work on?
Man, just helping out everybody from all the industry companies, you know what I mean? Whether it's in the side-by-side world or in the apparel world, like Dixon, whether, like, we just had a bunch of cars go to the Sandsport Super Show. We did all of Dragonfire stuff, did all of AZP stuff, Reed Industry stuff. Those cars and those projects were super fun. Just all that stuff.
Yeah.
Being able to work with everybody in every atmosphere,
Yeah, and that's what's cool about it too, is it can span across all those different platforms and genres. So like him and I were talking about it, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna build a side by side too." And I was like, "You know, all kinds of people. Let's do it, dude. I'm bitching."
Yeah, it all works out. You know, you meet everybody in this industry.
Yeah,
which is cool, nice and fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. And not only do you meet everybody, but you get to work with them on a personal level, because marketing and design, like it's a very unique thing that you have to deal with people. Like I know when I've designed stuff in the past, like, you know, so a customer will come at you and be like, "Hey, can you just do some like red graphics for us?" You're like, "Yeah, but like what color?" You know, and they're like, "I don't know, red. Just do red." And then it's like, oh, shit. And then you're like, this red? No, that's red's fucking ugly. I'm not doing that one. And then, so you got to show him 20 reds. So I can only imagine the stuff that he has to deal with and how close his relationship ends up being afterwards.
Every day, all day. You know, you gotta make sure that they're getting the design that they want in their head. You know what I mean? But you're also able to produce the quality of work that we want to do.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Big time. What are some of the best projects or funnest projects that you can remember over the years?
Man, everything from, like you said, the Supercross teams, you know, when it was just me in my garage, to the full-blown stuff we do now. Like, we just did that chrome wrap for Dragonfire on their Honda Talon.
Dude, I saw that.
Thing was a blast.
That thing looks sick.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
It looks really cool. When
that turned over.
I kind of want to brush on the little thing. Like, so you grew the business from your garage?
I grew the business from a bedroom in my dad's house when I was living there. So I was 18 or 19, and I didn't even have a monitor. I just had a computer that I built, hooked that up to a TV in my bedroom, taught myself how to design. From that, I taught myself how to print, and then here we are.
See, There we go, dude. Talk about hustle. And it's that same mindset, like that dirt bike mindset. Like, you got to figure it out. And it's pretty clear, like, he figured it out, and he's able to turn it into something not only profitable, but something that he loves and something that he enjoys going to work.
For sure. You know, it's like I go to work every day, and it is work, but at the end of the day, I mean, I spend 7 days a week here most of the year, or 7 days a week, and I wouldn't change it. You know, I've been here since 4 this morning, and it's 7:30, going on 15 and a half hours.
Do you ever wish
it's just what I do. It's not work.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, dealing with cool companies like that. And that's one of the things, like, when I broke my back, I got into doing computer stuff. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to be this, like, shirt and tie kind of dude, like, working at a software company or whatever. I mean, it'd pay good money. But I ended up doing very similar to what he did. And I ended up going to different companies, and I ended up starting to work at Spy Optic. And I was like, dude, I can be a computer guy that dresses like I want to. I can be at cool companies doing, and I ended up being a computer guy that was able to, in the growth of all the internet stuff, go into and build all these badass action sports companies. Yeah. So it was super cool, and I see that same hustle in him. And what are what are some of the things that you wish you could do a little bit more, that you wish you still could stay on the dirt bike and go riding more?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I miss it. You know what I mean? I still try to ride it when I can.
You able to get out there at all?
It's not anything. Nah, I mean, I haven't rode since it's been a while. But, you know, I grew up riding 5-6 days a week to not riding at all.
Yeah.
You know, so
but
it's a change of pace.
That's rough.
That's because you have a different goal, though.
Yeah, the mindset just shifted, you know?
Yeah, exactly. What about if you do end up getting a side-by-side, are you going to make time to go have some beers and go cruising with us?
Yeah, so I got an X3. It just sits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just sits down at my pop's at his shop, and I haven't took it out once.
Really?
Yeah, it's done and ready to go. I'll probably get it here this week and do a wrap on it. That way we can at least start showing off, you know, those type of things, and at least have a permanent vehicle here. But yeah, I haven't used it at all.
And you work with some cool companies, like we said, and one of the way I got hooked up with them was from Moses at Brick City, and he referred me over, to Garrett, and it's been super easy working with him. And the stuff that he does, like, I remember going in there and being like, I know why this dude is successful, because I walked into the shop and he goes, yeah, I'll do whatever. And I said, well, you know, what's it going to cost? And he said, it doesn't matter, I'll take care of you. So at that point, I just felt comfortable working with him. You know what I mean? So it was nice, because I knew he wasn't going to cheapen the product. I knew he was only going to do his best. And then I knew that when I came back to pick up the car, that it was going to be solid.
Well,
I appreciate that.
It looks good.
Yeah, that car looks good,
Yeah.
man. It still looks really good. I love the way that thing turned out.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Same. I like that car. I like that helmet. The whole project was a blast.
What's your favorite design that you've implemented and that you put out there?
I can't pick one. I mean, just little details. The little details mean more to me. Like Dixon's Sprinter, we did a gold grill on. That was really dope. You know what I mean? We did some helmet wraps this weekend and last week for a guy out of Peoria or something. They were American flags. That was really cool. You know
so
what I mean?
yeah, the level of detail on that probably has to line up and match like super good, huh?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
A lot of just because we don't do kits or anything like that, so they're full panels. So we got to figure out, how we're going to bend them, how we're going to stretch them, how we're going to get them to line up, make sure they last and don't fail on the customer. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, someone's paying for them to be a finished product that we want to stand behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you can hardly even tell, but that's the helmet that you did right there with the lightning bolts on it, and that thing looks like it was a paint job.
I appreciate that. So what should I do?
I didn't even know.
Yeah, he just wrapped
I
it.
didn't even know that, man.
That level of detail, though,
job.
that's a whole nother aspect of the design and putting it all together, because your design has to be perfect when you're putting it on a round surface. How did you even do the gold grill? Like, how would you go about doing that?
It's not just me, it's the guys in the shop, Zach, Brad, everybody that's a part of the crew. As far as on install side, I kind of come up with an idea, customer will come up with an idea, they'll come up with an idea, and then we just kind of brainstorm and figure out how to do it. You know what I mean? Trial and error, figure from the mistakes that we have made, so the next project we don't make those mistakes, or figure out how far we can stretch the material, things like that.
That's that same just figure it out mentality. That's bitching. Dude, you probably run into that shit like every day.
I mean, just like on those boat stripes, you know what I mean? We got to figure out, he wants the stripes to come down the side of the boat, wrap to the top cap, and then up and top that, those pickle forks. It's like we're dealing with every angle possible with a rigid vinyl in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's nuts.
Crazy.
What are some of your favorite projects to work on then? Like, do you enjoy doing those wraps more than you enjoy doing apparel, or what's your favorite stuff to do?
I enjoy the stuff that people say can't be done.
Oh, that's
so the pickle fork boat.
Pickle fork boat, the Razor grills. We wrap those Turbo S grills almost every week. You know what I mean? Where customers are told that can't be done, or paint guys say, "Oh, you can only paint them."
Yeah,
that's like, nah, that ain't the truth.
That's cool, though. Some of the stuff that I liked in design the most is like when you see all the cohesion. So I'm sure some of his clients will say, give me T-shirts, give me hats, give me this wrap the van. And then all of this just comes together, and they have this super cohesive platform. And all of it is because of his ideas.
That's badass, man.
That's also, it's a blast when you get to see a final product and you get to kind of have full control over it and see it all come together.
Yeah.
From the business cards and the T-shirts to the hats and the vehicle wraps, and the whole thing just comes together. I enjoy that a lot.
It's cool. And plus, he's got all of his team working on it. So he's got a bunch of different people, like a designer himself, all these people working on it together. And then to see like the teamwork and then the final product, that must be pretty gratifying.
It's a dream come true. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, kudos to you, dude, for kicking so much ass and having that much hustle.
Thank you.
What's the stuff like you got in the future? Like, do you guys have any cool events coming up or anything planned?
We're getting ready to launch a new website. So as soon as that goes, we'll start hitting events. I don't really want to hit events until we're fully locked in. You know what I mean? To where we're a fully seamless company from start to finish. From the time you place your order to the time it arrives at your house, or you pick it up from us. But we are going to have an open house like October 12th, I think it is. So we'll have a whole bunch of people here. We'll have a stunt team for BMX here, some food and goodies and things like that. And then, try to hit all the little local motocross races, try to hit some of the bigger events for, sand and dirt and things like that and those expos. Just trying to do a little bit of everything to give back.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the event that you have. Tell us a little bit more about the event that you have coming up in October, so we could maybe see if we could get some people to go up there or meet up at your shop.
For sure. So October 12th, we're doing an open house between this location and then the other shop that I gave you a tour of. Just to kind of let everybody see what goes on here, maybe do a live demo or two. You kind of see what we do, how we work, get a load of the shop, how we operate, you know what I mean? See where you drop your projects off, see what goes on outside of, just social media or who you call or who you talk to, any of that.
Is that on a Friday?
What goes on everywhere.
Is that on a Friday, or what day is that?
That's a Saturday.
Okay, cool. Right on.
Where are you located so everybody knows that it's around here?
Chandler, Arizona.
Chandler.
Right in the middle of Chandler.
And there's some good taco shops right by there, too.
Oh, we'll go.
Are you guys going to have tacos or hamburgers? What are you guys cooking?
I don't know if we're going to do tacos or barbecue or what we're going to do. We'll figure something out. I mean, you can't go wrong with tacos.
No.
Believe that. Well, I think I'm going to try to see if I can make it up there. Maybe we could both go, depending on the schedule. And so it's Saturday, October 12th, for everybody that wants to go. And it's at 518 Designs. What's the address?
440 East Warner Road, suite number 2.
Yeah, they can go to 518designs.com.
You guys heard them. October 12th, man.
Literally right off Warner. You can't miss us. We got a 26-foot decal on the side of the building.
And it's by the railroad tracks, too, or something, isn't it?
Right by the railroad tracks, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. We'll try to see if we can make it up there. No promises yet, but I would love me to some tacos, too, and come check out what you guys have.
Yeah, swing up, man. Check it out. At least hang out for a few hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. Well, one of the things that I had, a question was how side-by-sides have changed that wrap game and what difference it was, because most wrap companies, they just wrap cars. But you're doing off-road, you're doing boats. How did all that stuff just, funnel in? Because of motocross?
Well, sand cars, right? I mean, that was where it kind of sand cars, buggies, and then all of a sudden the side-by-side world hit, and it was everybody.
Well, and it blew up. I mean, the side-by-side industry blew up. Me and my dad had a company back in the day in 05. I think it was 05. We were bringing in long travel kits from Long Travel Industries and putting them on in our garage. You know what I mean? I was 14 or 15. And everybody was painting. And then that evolved into, everybody wrapping them. And then, here we are.
That's cool. So
Nice.
What I guess you probably wouldn't be able to do it, but what percentage of business do you do with the side? Because a lot of our listeners are side-by-side oriented people. Obviously, everybody has a car, but.
Well, I mean, we do so much of, I don't want to say everything, but everything. We have Sean's a motocross designer here. That's all he does is moto kits. So he works, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, just doing moto kits. Me and another designer do all the vehicle wraps. Then we got a guy that does just all the apparel stuff. So as far as just the side-by-side or off-road industry alone, I'd probably say 60%, if not a little more, is just strictly off-road.
Wow.
Whether that's side-by-sides, buggies, helmets, whatever it is, it's at least 60 to 70%.
Oh, cool. So they said on the comments, George will be there if there's tacos.
George will be there. I'll get tacos, so you'll make it.
Do it.
Or we can just stop and get tacos, come hang out if you guys got barbecue. But I'm stoked for you, man. I really appreciate all the stuff that you've done for me, all that you've helped me with. You not only did what you said you were going to do, you went over and above, and you've become a good friend. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you, George, man. You're an awesome dude. I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm humbled, so thank you.
Yeah, well, you're definitely deserving of being on the show to share all your stuff that you've worked on over your just few short years in your hustle, dude.
Yeah, out of a garage and then your dad's bedroom, a spare room, and look where you're at. You got 2 separate buildings. That's what those were, right? 2 separate,
Two separate.
And he's got his good employees too.
Yeah.
So he's built a good team, and he's definitely built a good business that can service a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I was gonna say before we get off the phone with you is that what if we started wrapping wheels?
Let's do it. We wrapped some wheels for SEMA. Was it last year for American Force?
Oh, right on.
They sent over a wheel for I forgot the dude's name, Toby Amy. And it was kind of a flush mount wheel, and he wanted them green that was on his powder because, all the underbody stuff and suspension on all those trucks is powdered. So we just matched that green to that wheel. It was dope.
Yeah, see, stuff like that I think would be super cool because they have, Cerakote, and they have all these different things and dips and stuff like that. But if you could wrap a wheel in just vinyl, it would last a long time, and it wouldn't look
so.
Yeah, and you could just replace, the beadlock ring or something. You could just replace it. That'd be sick.
Or just do like the dish part of the wheel, you know what I mean? The center, or do the actual flat face.
Yeah, we could put unicorns all over those motherfuckers.
You could, man. Look great on that blue.
Bring them here. We'll take care of them.
Hell yeah. All right,
Awesome.
Garrett. Well, thanks so much, dude. And if we don't see you on October 12th, good luck at your show, but I'm going to try to make it up there, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sure,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Take it easy.
You got it, dude. Keep killing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Later.
Later.
Cool.
Man, that's so good to see.
Wrapping some wheels, man.
That'd be pretty cool, I think. What do you think?
Something different.
So let's change the camera angle so we can see that wheel and think about it. The baddest part about it would be, like, imagine, like, you could put a whole American flag in that wheel and not have to worry about painting it.
Dude, you could just do the beadlock American flag.
Yeah, like, you could do so much cool stuff. But that just goes to show the creativity, the drive, and the ambition of all the people that we're interviewing. And, again, it's that dirt life mentality, dude.
Yeah. Everyone's here to help each other out, grow.
And it just really baffles me. Like, it's so awesome to see that these people can grow up and figure stuff out so easily.
Yeah.
There's so many times when I see situations where I wish people had the opportunity to grow up like that, because maybe their kids don't learn a certain thing, or they don't understand a certain thing, or they don't want to go out and achieve these different things. And I think that the dirt life just provides such a great platform for that well-being in the rest of your life. It's cool, man. Well, I kind of want to keep talking about all that stuff with Garrett just because I want to hear more about the cool shit that we could do. I'm going to wrap everything in my life
all the
now.
TVs.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap everything. I'm going to start wearing just like T-shirts with wraps on them, everything. Wrap your flip-flops.
That's it, man. It's probably all done. You can probably do it.
So thank you for Garrett for being on the show with us, and thank you for him helping me out and stuff. Man, do you got anything else? Like, what do you got coming up?
Oh man, I got a monster truck show I'm helping doing here in Tucson. That's gonna be pretty cool. Big show and glow here. That's gonna be cool.
Well, explain what a show and glow is.
So the show and glow is obviously you get your side by side and
or vehicle, whatever you want.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a side by side show, and they make thousands. It's limitless now to what you could do for lighting up like your whips on your side by side.
Yep.
Underglow, lights in general. I mean that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give back the percentage we're making on tickets. We're gonna give back, and it's gonna be really exciting. So, and then we have the Christmas event this year too.
Yeah, we talked about the Christmas event. That's going to be a really cool event.
That's coming up this year fast.
What's the monster truck event? Are you allowed to talk about it at all?
Yeah, I mean a little bit. We're just kind of trying to set everything up. We met today.
What's the dates?
It's the 15th and 16th of November.
Okay.
And then it's Friday and Saturday night. We're just trying to figure out a good date to where either we're going to show up and do both nights. Participate in both nights, or just one big night. Supposedly, they have a big kids area here at this monster truck show. Like,
where's the show at?
18 at the rodeo grounds.
Oh,
here
okay.
in Tucson
Rodeo Grounds.
And he said that he was going to be creating something completely different than normal and have a big kids area. It's all blow up stuff.
Oh, that'll be fun for the kids.
Yeah, it's all. He said there's like 15 or 16 blow up things. That I was like, whoa.
Not to change the subject, but there's a lot of good tacos down there too.
Oh yeah,
on that side of town.
You know, my wife took me a couple years back to. There's a sushi restaurant across the street from there.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I
good?
was throwing up all day.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I was like, who has sushi on the
that
south
side
of Tucson?
Yeah, that's made for. That's a taco.
Yeah.
A taco
That's
port
what I
only.
said. I was like, oh man, why don't we just go there? But
well, that'll be cool. So the Tucson Rodeo Grounds, November 15th and 16th.
Yeah, I believe it's the 15th, 16th. Yeah.
Oh, it's the day after my birthday.
Dude, my birthday's the 20th.
Sweet, man. It's right before yours too.
A taco cake.
Dang, really?
I don't know. You gonna make me one?
I don't know. I can't eat cake, so I'll eat the tacos though. You can make you a taco-looking cake, and then I'll just eat the tacos on the side. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. It's been a really, really good show. I love hearing all the inspiration from Matt Gerald. I love hearing all the hustle from Garrett, and it like every time I feel like we end these shows, like I feel like I wish it was during the middle of the day or the beginning of the day because I'm all pumped up.
It's so nice to see the people that we're meeting, and well, me meeting you've kind of met these people and stuff, and have a friendship now, and it's really cool to see how people started out where they're at, like tonight, you know.
Yeah,
and it's awesome to see. So,
and how many people actually love them.
I'll never
love the
forget
things they
Miles
do.
Cheeks, man.
Yep.
Homeboy, dude, cooking it up, man.
Yep.
We're waiting for that.
One of these days, we're going to get some Miles Cheek
That's right.
tacos. Well, like I said, thank you, Matt Gerald. Thank you, Garrett Maxwell. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. You guys are our life, our blood, and we really appreciate everything. We want you guys to comment, send us messages, send us texts, emails, whatever you can do. We're going to be out there to make these shows better for you guys. Go to our social media channels, like it, all at The Dirt Life Show and thedirtlifeshow.com. Next week, we are going to have Vanessa from Solderweld in. We're going to talk about some dune preparation, how to tune your cars, get them safe, get everything going. It's going to be an awesome show. I'm Georgie Hamill.
I'm Cody Sanders.
Peace out.
You've been listening to the Dirt Life Show with George Hamill and Cody Sanders.